and or I guess or six, but it just did not happen. So I mean, shout out to all the people out there supporting the Cubbies. I guess they don't want Cleveland to get too big headed.
Well, you know how the professor feels about Cleveland.
Yes, I do. I mean, as long as the Browns aren't at the top, I think we're okay.
I mean, it's a pretty competitive game so far, though.
It is. I mean, right now it's 1-0 at the bottom of the first. I'm still rooting for my, the Indians. I'm sure Wild Thing will come out there eventually. Maybe he'll join the parade.
Well, it's actually funny that you
That would
mentioned
be
that
great.
because Charlie Sheen actually mentioned the reason why they lost one of their games was because they
Curse of the
didn't let
Wild
him
Thing.
pitch on game one. He's trying to do
Curse
a
of the Wild
curse
Thing
of
now.
the curse of the wild thing.
Curse of the
WTF?
Wild Thing. Oh God.
But
Hashtag Curse of the Wild Thing now.
Dexter Filer gotten the solo shot home run. That led to the 1-0 score that we currently have.
And I mean, of course, shout out to Mr. October. Definitely holding it down. I'm sure we'll be hearing from him soon about the end of the MLB season.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, eventually, he'll come back. No worries about that.
We can't keep him away. We can't keep him away.
No, we can't. If not that, my poor car will definitely have to suffer.
It's so terrible.
Anything notable that you've seen in regards to this World Series this year, other than the love for the Cubs?
Mm. I mean, no, I think that's really it's so amazing right now because it's almost like everybody, and I think Mr. October mentioned this, and it's like everybody is rooting for the Cubs. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I understand, they've been going through their struggles, and this would erase a major history of letdowns and drought, as you put it.
A
But I mean,
century of
I
championship tears.
but I've never seen a support like there is right now. Like this isn't an underdog team. I mean, this is
This,
a pretty solid team.
well, I mean, they're underdogs because they haven't won it in about 100 years. So
I mean, but Cleveland. I mean, come on, come on.
Cleveland plus.
It, yeah, it's really no major difference. It's one of those situations where yeah, they won it, of course, since the Cubs last won it, but I mean, the Indians have their own drought
They have.
if you're really looking at it. But they're pretty on paper, I would say pretty equal teams. I just, everybody's rooting for the Cubbies. Like you said, the love of the Cubs.
The love of the Cubs
Put that on a
are
t-shirt.
snubbing the guys in the red, and I don't mean Cincinnati, my friend.
Not
For
Cincinnati, man.
me, I just have to tip off my hat to all the pitching. I mean, just so much dominance.
Well, I mean, the Cubs really, really laid it on the Indians the last two games. I mean, it was convincing wins. They weren't close wins. They were really, really convincing. So I'm interested to see how this final game comes out. And I mean, did we see a Warriors like fall in the
Ooh.
Cleveland Indians?
Ooh. Now, how ironic would that be? For
How
the
ironic would that
Cleveland
be?
Indians to give up a 3-0 lead to just lose it all in the end.
I
That
mean,
would
how crazy?
be that would be the ultimate plot device when it comes
I mean,
to Cleveland and Ohio sports.
I mean, it would be insane. But I mean, it's definitely not something that I would say is impossible as we see the Warriors give it up. I mean,
I mean, they just Kyrie Irving came on the other side of the half court line, and Steph Curry just stood there and took it in the face.
and I just can't take it right now. And I need this game to be very competitive. But of course, we'll keep the fans up to date as I'm sure they're home watching. But just in case they step away and they're listening to our show mobile, we can definitely keep
You
them up
should
to
you should
speed.
be listening to this and watch the game at the same time. How about that?
And I agree. I agree. But I know how people feel about the World Series, and we
Absolutely.
get it. We get it. But debate
Well,
amongst friends is
live
where it's
score right
at.
now is the end of the first inning.